Hello, everybody. Welcome to MT4 Professional. Today, we're going to be talking about trading strategies using the MT4 Professional scanner. We're going to be going over a demonstration and showing you everything there is to know about setting up strategies using MT4 Professional. Want to let everyone know that we are here for educational purposes only, that MT4 Professional and Resilient Traders are not investment advisory service, so we cannot give you specific trade advice. What we can do is teach and train you how to use our platform on the live edge of the market and how to build a trading plan that is both consistently profitable and successful. Trading with futures, stocks, Forex, options, cryptocurrencies has a large potential for reward, but it also has a large potential for risk. You need to be aware of the risk involved and be willing to accept them in order to trade or invest in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so make sure that you get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets. And never trade in a live account until you have first proven that you can consistently and profitably trade a simulated account. I am Randy Lindsay, your trade coach and operations director here at MT4 Professional. Joining me today is Claudio Cardinale. He's our product development director and all things technology guru. He's a director of technology, basically, for our company. And we are here to present to you trading strategies using MT4 Professional. We're going to talk about what a market scanner is, what MT4 Professional is. Of course, I'll go through a live demonstration and make you a very special offer at the end of today's presentation, if you stick around. And all during the presentation, we'll be answering any questions that you might have. Let's get right into it. So if you look at many popular strategies that are available today that people are using with the available indicators on MT4, MT5, EMA and price is probably the most popular. You got pure price action with the 1 or 2 moving averages. It's a very good and elegant solution for a market. You're looking at moving average convergence divergence indicator with signal, MACD, in other words, is very popular because it gives a good indication of entry or exit potential. And then you couple that with the signal change, then it gives you a good trend analysis as well. Moving average crossovers are very popular because they show when trend changes occur using multiple timeframes, which is a very important concept we're going to be covering. It also introduces a longer time frame trend analysis. Looking at the EMA and price, the MACD and signal, even a relative strength combination gives a strategy that identifies pure price action moves for entries, exits, and to optimize your trade by getting out when conditions show the market is being either overbought or oversold. And then there's the ever popular alligator, which is usually focused on longer term trade positions for people who are swing or position traders. But the alligator is usually multiple time frame, longer term moving averages that cross to give you entry and exit positions. The MT4 Professional Scanner can and does scan in real time all of these strategies, plus many, many more, and it alerts you when conditions are met for a favorable trade condition. So first of all, I want to find out how many of you that are here are currently using MT4 Professional. If you are using or have MT4 Professional, are you here? Let me know. Otherwise, I'll assume that you are new. You're here for more information. We want to find out a little bit more about MT4 Professional. So if you could let me know, I'd appreciate that. As soon as a sufficient number of people in the audience answers them, then we'll move on to the next one. All right, there's the solution. Looks like about 80% are currently MT4Professional users. So that way I can go a little bit more detail in the actual use. About 20% have not tried it. So let's go ahead and get on with the presentation then. So what is a market scanner and what is MT4Professional? Overall, we're looking at a lot of combinations and pairs that are with the MT4. 20 CFDs, 50 Forex pairs, 9 different timeframes. That's 630 combinations to check. And unless you have a scanner, it's next to impossible to check all those manually. And you miss a lot of opportunities if you're not there checking all the time anyway. So as important as it is to trade with different instruments, you really need to have uncorrelated instruments on your side to remove uncertainty and to diversify your portfolio. And the only way to be able to do that successfully is with the scanner. So in general, if you have a list of symbols and a spreadsheet layout for multiple timeframes, a scanner should allow you to put in whatever strategy that you have, look for all of these symbols and give you a buy or sell indication as to whether that strategy is ready to go. So it's not really a signal provider. What it is, it's showing you when the conditions are right for a trade, either a bullish or bearish trade based upon your own analysis. One example we can look at is the cross of 2 moving averages. So for every symbol and time frame, whenever the fast moving average, which is an MA15, crosses greater than a slow moving average, which is the MA30, I want to see a green sell, indicating a bullish move. A bearish cross would be when the 15 period moving average crosses down or below the 30 period moving average, giving me a red sell. So very quickly, if these conditions are true, then I should see which instruments are bullish and bearish, not only for my main time frame, but for the longer time frame as well. So there's a lot of valuable information that you can glean very quickly from a scanner that can give you this type of reliable information about continuation trades, about trade reversals, about switches, and so forth. And so these are all really good this is really good information to get in front of a trade. Another example is that an EMA and price. So when you have a scanner working for you and doing all this in the background, that frees you up to do the more important things, like focusing on your trade or getting your mindset where it belongs, because the scanner is doing all the work, finding the trades, meeting all your rules and conditions, and then alerting you and letting you know that the conditions are favorable for a trade entry or an exit. Here's an example for an EMA and price strategy. That is, you're looking for green sell whenever the exponential moving average is greater than when price is above the exponential moving average. I said that backwards. So, and when price is below the EMA, I want to see a red sell. Right. So these are the conditions that I'm looking for to give me that setup. So you can see Ethereum, the Russell 2000, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 are all bearish, while the dollar Canadian is bullish on the long term. So you're looking across 3 different time frames. I can see the euro and pound are in a period of transition, which I would expect it to transition back into agreement with the longer term trends. So that would be a bullish move. And likewise, these like Bitcoin is in a long-term bearish move, but it looks like it's starting to, on the short term, turn into a bullish trend. So that's the idea behind this. You can make some very good logical decisions based upon the information that you're getting if the scanner is working your strategy the way it should. So we talk about multiple timeframes, and what is it about multiple timeframes that you look at it? Well, did you know that if you trade using multiple timeframes, you have a higher probability of a profitable trade, and it's due to correlation. It's the advantage of using multiple time frame technical analysis. So if you look at the picture over on the right, 15-minute, hourly, and 4-hour chart profiles, you can see within the 4-hour envelope, there are periods of bullish moves, corrections, and so forth. And the hourly and 15-minute chart show you the exact same periods of time, but you can see that there are smaller corrections and even multiple pushes up and down within that same envelope. But if you notice, the overall envelope is still the same. You're still going to be moving in that general direction. So over that 4-hour period, you can see you're having 4 different moves that have a higher probability of a profitable outcome if you are bullish. And in this area here, you have a higher probability of a profitable outcome if you are bearish on these faster timeframes. So whenever you get in, you start to see it moving against you when the trend is longer, then you're not going to be worried about that, because you know that it's going to continue on and trend in that direction following the longer term trend. So if a market scanner could sit down and look for trades that are based upon this type of analysis, which puts you in front of higher probability and lower risk trades, then it would be an extremely valuable tool. Here's an example using a longer time frame setup. Before I was looking at very fast setups, but now let's just look at some slower ones. A 4-hour daily and weekly chart setup. Here I'm looking at a MACD crossover with signal. I'm looking at relative strength, and I'm looking at price and the exponential moving average. So where you see the blue cross here, you can see the price has crossed over the exponential moving average. You can see a bullish cross on the MACD, and you can see that relative strength not only has crossed out of an 80%, or I mean a 30% oversold condition, but is trending with strength. So you can see this sloped line is moving up and trending. So we have a trend of strength. So that's 3 conditions that are fully met. That tells me I want to try to take that as an entry long. Second time frame analysis shows that I have also a bullish MACD crossover and a very strong relative strength indication. Third time frame shows me I have a strong relative strength indication. So on 3 different time frames, I've got confirmation that this has a higher probability of being a trade that ends profitable for me. And if you look at the outcome of the results, then you can see that from this point here to here was over 100 pips of trade profit based upon that strategy. So it's nice to be able to have something that's automated to let you know when that aligns so that you can get in front of it at the proper time. So by taking trades in harmony with the longer time frame, I get lower risk trade opportunities with higher probability that the trade will end in my favor. That's a powerful combination for any trader. It shows the importance of using multiple timeframes, and a market scanner using multiple timeframe analysis becomes an extremely valuable tool because it does all that for you automatically. So you just focus on the trade mechanics. The problem that we ran into as professional traders is that all through MT4 and MT5, we could not find a scanner that met these criteria. We didn't find anything that met all of our needs. You know, that they were either too complex to configure, which meant you had to be a programmer to use it. Most people aren't. They were unstable, or just a single tool that didn't integrate well with the whole system. A lot of them were incompatible with just standard indicators that were available freely on the MT4 or MT5 platform. And there were lots of other issues. And so what we ended up doing, we decided to make MT4Professional, to create it for our own trading, for our own selves. It worked beautifully. It continued to work really well, so much so that other people noticed and wanted to have copies of it as well. So we decided to release it to the general public on the MT4 and the MT5 platform. And today it is the #1 scanner on both MT4 and MT5. It allows you to instantly scan the entire market for trades and setups that match your own unique strategies and your own particular rules. So whenever you find a good setup, MT4 Professional alerts you to that, but it also allows you to set up and enable multiple time frame technical analysis, which really is not easy to do on MT4 or MT5. So stay tuned. There's a lot more, and I'm going to go into a demonstration now for you. So let me pull up my MT4 platform. Here on MT4, let me see, there's a question. Do we do when news are coming? Well, if you're a smart trader, usually if news comes, you try not to be in a trade unless you're a news trader yourself. But then again, that goes right back to your strategy again. So if news alerts are coming out your way, then make sure that you're not in front of a news trade, because you can very, very easily be kicked out of a trade. And then it turns around and goes right in the position, the direction that you wanted it to go in the first place. So just make sure that you're safe and that you have your stops in place, or that you're out of the trade altogether before you start getting into those trades. So looking at MT4 itself, here you can see I've got 3 different charts that are set up, different time frames. This is just regular MT4. Notice that I cannot align or set up all 3 of these time frames together. In order to do multiple time frame analysis, I need to be able to look at these time frames at a specific point. So like say right here, where no, go ahead. Right there. Look, what? Am I pushing the wrong button? Oh, I see. I had it on the wrong one. I didn't click it. At this point right here, you can see that at today at 2 o'clock, 200, this was the position that I was very much interested in. I have to go over to this chart, do the exact same thing, and look for that same time frame to see if that is aligned. Then I have to go over to this chart and do the same thing and try to find 200 right about there to see if that's a valid setup coming into support and ready for a potential break. And the reversal signal that I got on my 15-minute chart was validated. A trend flag break gave me my entry point, and then it went up into overhead resistance that was expected. So this is a really good trade setup. I want to be able to see that, but I don't have the confirmation on the multiple time frames very easily. I have to stop and look at that, and that takes a lot of time to do. Also, if I wanted to look at a different pair, say this is all the euro yen, if I wanted to look at the pound yen, well, I have to physically go over and drag and drop that symbol onto each window in order to change the chart. Or I have to hit enter and then type in the symbol that I want. And I have to do that physically for each one of these charts to move through all that. Also, if I have a setup that's looking at multiple time frames, and it's also looking at indicators that are different sizes, then if I wanted to go to a full screen layout, look at all the real estate that's wasted that I can't expand into. And especially if I have different sized windows, I can't just go under the window and resize them or retile them. So it becomes a real hassle to do. So real quickly, let me show you what MT4 Professional can do for you. First thing you'll see on MT4 Professional is a configurations menu. It comes up and asks you, which configuration would you like to load? A configuration is a set of parameters that will set up your charts and the scanner select for any setup that you have. So if I have a strategy where I'm looking at the EMA and price, then I will launch that particular strategy. And I can see on the chart, I have 3 different time frames. I've got a 5-minute, a 15-minute and a 30-minute time frame with a 15-period exponential moving average on each one of these charts. Also notice there is a blue crosshair on each screen. And whenever I move that crosshair, you can see it automatically moves on all three of the time frames. So if I were to go over to a different instrument, say the pound, a single click on my symbol list automatically changes the symbol on all three of my time frames. And if I go into full screen mode, then you can see it automatically resizes itself to take advantage of all the real estate that I have right now and not waste any of that on, or waste any of my time trying to manually resize my windows to fit it. And when I go back into a smaller reduced size, all the windows resize itself and go right back down again. A single click and the crosshairs lock, and I can do the analysis that I need in order to see if this bullish turn is what I was looking for on a specific trade. If that is, then all I have to do is just measure and determine that trade entry point. And you can see I have 30 to 40 points of a potential profit sitting on that reversal trade setup. So the exponential moving average looks at price. And whenever you see price greater than the EMA, you're looking for a potential trade. In this case, you can see that the 5-minute, all right, gave a close above the EMA right here. But you can see over here on this one, it did not. Okay, so that is not a valid trade. Over here, now you can see there's a second point where price closed above the EMA. Over here, you can see that we have a close right at the EMA and an extension above. So we can see that we're starting to get into a really good setup. It's the third condition right here that gives us a valid point. And at this point, we can see that this is a breakout and a potential for entry and exit, because we're confirming that with the longer term trends. We're not waiting on the longer term trends. We're just simply confirming the move is there because we're waiting for the trade confirmation. Okay, so that's the EMA and price. Looking at the configuration within MT4Professional, we can check the edit button and determine what we can do with this. Over on the right-hand side, you will see the chart configuration setup. You can see that I have 1, 2, 3 charts. Here's 1, 2, 3 chart setups where I can, from a simple pull-down menu, select whatever time frame or whatever template that I want to use for the look and feel of my setup. I can put any strategy or any indicator on these charts that I want, save that as a template, and then use that template here simply by pulling it in. If I click the plus sign, then I can have access to any of the templates on my MT4 or MT5 platform. So simply just by clicking any one of those and pulling them in, then you can pull that in. Once you click the OK button, once it's all set up, and you click the Save button, then it automatically uploads your configuration to the cloud, saves it there, and it's also saves it to your computer so that you have a copy on your local computer and a backup in the cloud. Any configuration that you load from MT4Professional will automatically be loaded from your cloud configuration, and any saves from that point then will be from your computer. Over on the left-hand side is the scanner panel. This is where you set up your symbol list and where you set up the conditions necessary for your color rules. The color rules are the rules of your strategy that say what's bullish and what's bearish. So very simply, you can use any symbol that your MT4 or MT5 broker supply you with. So if you have a broker that gives you any symbols, stocks, futures, CFDs, whatever it might be, then you just simply use and select the symbols that you most want to see. Once you select it, then click the right arrow to add it to the list. If you see that it's not the type that you wanted, then just simply remove it and go and find the one that is the type that you wanted and add that to your list. And then you're good to go. Okay. If you want to start from a new list, then just click start from another configuration. Select the configuration that you are interested in, and that way you don't have to recreate the same symbol list every time. You can go and pull it from another configuration, and that makes it really easy. Hey, Katie, are there written examples on strategies on different ways to use MT4Professional, or is it just the recorded videos that you do? If you look over in the members area, and let me pull up an example here for you. On my browser, I've got the members area. If you go to MT4Professional's main website and click on sign in, it will take you to the members area. Within the members area, we have a documentation center. So simply click on or go to the documentation center. Click on the solutions tab, and you'll find all of the, not only the videos, but you'll see the written configuration rules within our knowledge base. So if you have already found that, then all of the information is written down, and we go through each of these in detail, showing you how to set up workspaces, configurations for your some symbols, the scanner list configurator, even the scanner itself. So all of that is available to you in our members area through the knowledge base portal. So within the configuration, if you click on the scanner panel, then you'll see I have access to the scanner itself. And within the scanner, these are the configurations for the rules. What's going to cause my scanner to tell me it's a bullish or a bearish indication? So that we call those color rules. The rules needed to make the output a specific color. You can identify these by specific timeframes. Notice the scanner can go either any time frame that's available with simple pull down menus. And the color rules can be selected the exact same way. If you have more than one color rule, then you can select any multiple color rules. And if you notice the pencil with the pad, then that's the edit, and that allows you to go through the process of editing or changing the rule sets for each one of these setups. So the strategy for the EMA and price, which means you're looking for price to be greater than the exponential moving average, then we're looking for the current close of price. Close, we give you an indicator that allows you to look at current price. If you look at the indicators that are available, then you can see that one of those indicators is price. And within the price section, you have access to the current price, open, the close, the high, or the low of any price bar that you're specifically looking at. So if you don't want to look at the current price, then you can look at the previously or the most recently closed price. Or if you want to look at a price bar that was 5 bars back, you can do all of that here within the price indication. So once you select the current price, then click use this indicator, and it'll automatically set it up to use that setup. So I chose the close indication, that the currently closed bar, and I'm looking at the 15-period exponential moving average, which is based upon the close of price. If you need to edit that in any way, then you can simply click the edit button again, and you can edit any of the parameters within that to change it to be a simple moving average, or if you want to look at the open of price or any of that, or if you want to shift it to the close 5 bars ago, you could do that right here. Of course, if you need any help along the way, click the schedule assistance now, and you'll get instructions on how to contact us and schedule time for us to come in and help you with that particular setup. Now, the color rule configurator is broken into 2 main sections. One, you're looking at the first condition that will cause it to go to the color you specify. Here I specified a bullish condition, so I want the color to be green. If the price is greater than the 15 moving average, then it will set that cell green. If it's not, this is false, and then it will go under the OR condition to the second operator. It then will check to see if price is less than the EMA 15. If neither of these conditions are true, it will cause it to go yellow. There's no possible way neither could be true, so one or the other will be true. So I'll either get a red or a green setup for this particular strategy. Notice that I can have multiple setups for being equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, and so forth. And I can add any indicator that I want to using the plus setup. Then you can see I can select any standard indicator from your MT4 or MT5 platform. Or you can pick from your computer any indicator that you might have written yourself or that you might have purchased from a third-party vendor and use their indicator in the strategy itself. So this is a simple example showing you how price and a moving average indicator can interact with each other, how you can test it and poll it to make sure that it's what you want it to be, and it will come and give you the result. If you turn on real-time notifications by ticking this box right here, then it'll turn on the notification center. It'll give you pop-up messages on your computer, on your MT4 platform. It'll send you an email or it'll send you SMS messages that identify the trade parameter meeting all of your conditions for trade setup. So I recommend that you make sure that it's working first before you turn this on, because if you have a fast time frame, then you will be getting a lot of notifications, especially if you have a lot of symbols that might be meeting that criteria. So you can very quickly be overwhelmed by a lot of signals if you are using fast time frames. Are there any questions so far? That was just a very simple setup. So looking at this, I'm looking at 5, 15, and 30-minute EMA and price. You can see my scanner is showing me a 5, 15, and 30 for any of the symbols that I'm specifically looking for. And so the conditions then become good. Like right here, you can see the Euro US dollar has 3 different time frames set up that where the close is less than the EMA, giving me a really strong bearish setup, a potential move down. You can see the pound is already starting to roll on the 5-minute. We can click on it real quick to see if 15 and 30 are doing that. So the 5 has gone, the 15 is just starting to. So as soon as this bar closes, we will see this bar right here turn red. And then the same it goes for the 30-minute. So we're going to get a signal very quickly off of the pound dollar as well. So that's how you're looking at it. It's back there doing all the work, checking to make sure that everything is done and set up properly. All you have to do is follow your signals and execute your trades and manage the trade itself. Really, really a nice setup. Let's look at another configuration that has a little bit more to it. Here's one right here, where you're looking at 3 different indicators. In this case, I'm looking at a 4-hour, a daily, and a weekly time frame setup. Right. I have EMA and price interaction. I have a moving average, a convergence divergence indicator, giving me bullish or bearish setups, and I also have relative strength. So this, just like in the presentation earlier, this is the live version of that, showing me that I do have a bullish cross and I do have a bullish cross on the MACD, and I have a positive trend on relative strength, giving me all the conditions I need for a long move. You can also see on the daily that we're in a very nice long trend, where the consolidation range has just been bearish, but then has just now crossed back over into a bullish setup. And you can see I have a very bullish relative strength on the weekly. So everything is confirming that this is a consolidation that is going back into or resuming the longer term trend. That's the idea behind this. You can very quickly scan across these just to determine you've got a New Zealand Swiss that has gone from a bullish trend to slightly neutral, but it could be very quickly returning to that longer term confirmed trend. So that's one other thing that you want to look at. You see the other setups here. These are potential reversals. So the CAD yen, Aussie yen, New Zealand yen are all have a potential reversal. You have a neutral medium time frame. You have bearish longer time frames, and you have bullish shorter time frames. So if we start to see from the bullish time frames that the midterm, like we see here in the New Zealand yen, goes green, then we can see that that's starting to confirm that this is a transition and reversal setup on that. And so all we need to do is find a conversion, confirmation that this is set up, and we will be ready to take that trade. All right, so let's look at the configuration for this. It's 3 different setups and timeframes. So click the edit button to open up the scanner configuration for this. And you can see I have a color rule that's called strong signal. So if we were to look at that particular signal, then, and you can see that within strong signal, the condition set is I need to see all 3 of my indicator parameters agreeing. So the price action, the MACD, and relative strength all have to be in agreement in order for me to have a bearish condition. Those conditions are the MACD, in this case, it's the MACD base indicator. That's the white histogram that you see. That indicator has to be less than the MACD signal line. Signal line, that's the red line that you see with the MACD itself. So if that histogram is below your signal line, that's bearish. I want to know that that occurred. The next condition, and has to be true also, that price, the close of price, has to be less than my 15-period EMA. So that means that this price action has to be underneath this EMA bar, while the white MACD is less than the red signal line. Both of those have to be true. And I need to see that the relative strength 2 bars ago is greater than the current relative strength. So if I were to look at the relative strength 2 bars ago, say we're right here, and I'm looking 2 bars back right here, that has to be greater than the current relative strength right here. That gives me a negative slope on my relative strength, and that would be a bearish setup, a bearish condition. You could also check to see what your relative strength is relative to being overbought or oversold by checking the value to see if it's greater than 30 or less than 30, or greater than 70 or less than 70, or how close it is to your 50 point. So you can check all of those values as well. If all of these conditions are met, then I have a strong bearish signal. If one or more of these conditions are not true, then I disregard this and I go to my OR operation, which is the next operator. Then it will look at the condition set for a bullish setup. Well, is the MACD greater than the signal line? Is the close greater than my exponential moving average? Do I have a positive slope on my relative strength? If all of those are true, then I'm going to see a bullish setup, and I want to be notified with a green signal, not a red signal. If one or more of either of these signals are not good, then I will get a yellow default signal showing that it's in transition or consolidation, or it's setting up and it's not quite ready for a trade setup. So that's the logic behind the signal that you see here. If there is another condition I need to test for, then all I have to do is just simply click this and load that condition set in, and it's ready to go. And then notice I have that set up on my 4-hour time frame, the strong signal color rule. I also have it set up and running on my daily color rule. See that? The strong signal rule is also set up on that as well. But notice on my weekly chart, I only have the trend color rule strategy set up. I don't have the strong signal set up because all I want to do is check to see what the longer term trend is. And then that way I can check and trade based on that setup. So looking at these setups, I can see that the weekly is really simply looking at the overall trend direction. It's not looking at any of the conditions of the indicators that are loaded on it. So that way you know that you're trading in harmony with the longer term trend, or you're looking for a potential reversal trade that could be a good start of a new trend. All right, any questions then from this point? I haven't gotten many questions. I got a couple, but there are other questions. What if you had 2 out of 3 and you wanted to know? Well, then you could look at that and see. So if you can see 2 out of 3 are set up, you'll get a yellow indication. So specifically, you look at the euro pound, and then you see that setup, and you can see, okay, I definitely have a price that is greater than my EMA, and I have a bullish setup. But at this particular point, notice that my relative strength is going down. So that is a yellow potential setup. So at that particular point, I'm seeing the relative strength moving down, even though I have bullish setups on all of the other 2. All right. So that's one condition that you'd specifically want to be looking for. Is if 2 out of 3 are there, you will get a yellow indication. So click on the chart and then do more analysis. Well, what if you're not at your desk? Or what if you're looking for a trade setup that's coming, but you need to go to lunch, or you've got to go somewhere? Are you trapped? Do you have to stay at your computer? No. With MT4Professional, all you have to do is just pull up a browser on your mobile device, your phone, your laptop, your tablet device. Go over to MT4Professional's site, log into your members area, and then within the members area, click on the real-time scanner menu item. The real-time scanner will pull up on your screen a selection of your scanners that are running. If you have more than one MT4 account, then you will have a choice. I currently just have one instance running on my computer, so I'll click that and pull it up. Notice that MT4 automatically launches the scanner that's currently running on your platform. It's a 4 daily, weekly. So this is my MACD configuration running. It's live, and you'll see these colors change as they update and change on my screen. Also, notice these are currently euro pound. If I click back on the euro US dollar, then you'll see that the charts all change to the euro US dollar, and I get a snapshot of the euro US dollar setup for me to analyze, because that's the one that looks bullish, and I want to see if I can trade on that. So if you have to leave, then you can get a signal or a notification that a trade potential setup is there. Simply click on that symbol on your mobile device, check out the chart to see and verify that it looks good, then contact your broker on your mobile device and take the trade. You don't have to be tied to your desk at all. And it's all seamlessly integrated on your mobile device. Of course, it's the same place where you download your software. It's the same place where you go to check on any of the snapshots that you've already taken. It organizes them with tabs, setups. It makes it so that some are private. It makes it so that some are public. Like this one, you can share it with your friends. It even gives you a link that you can copy and paste on any of your social media outlets to share your results with your friends and to get you all on the same page. And we also provide you with all of the onboarding steps needed in order to get you up and running as quickly as possible. Step 1 through 6, not only installation, but creating, referring your friends and becoming a referral partner with us, or even joining our Skype chat group. where all of the MT4 professional MT5 users are gathering together to share or to talk about strategies or to get things up and running. So speaking of sharing, if you open up the configurations file and click edit, you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner a share icon. Well, this is what I was talking to you earlier. If you click on that icon, then you have the ability to type in any particular name of any specific person that's out there, select that person, and share with them the configuration that you just created. Okay. It's all that simple and easy. Just simply click on the share button and click it. So if you're with a group of traders, all of you can be on the same page at the same time, chatting together in our Skype chat room, sharing all of your configurations together and not missing a single thing. So that way, no effort is wasted. If you have someone really smart in your group, he can set things up for you and share everything. And then all you have to do is start using it. Really a really good setup. So, and did I mention that everything is cloud-based? That everything that you use and see, all of your configurations are backed up in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about losing your data. So if you happen to have a crash, or if your hard drive goes down, or if someone steals your computer, you don't have to worry about all the work that you did or your configurations because they're all backed up in the cloud. All you have to do is reinstall your MT4 platform, repush your MT4 Professional platform to that, and all of the data that you had previously stored will be available to you and you don't miss anything. So it's all available to you right there. Yes, that's correct. This particular configuration should already be, I think it is. And if it's not, I can share it with you. I think MACD and Signal, but this particular one has the relative strength and the EMA and price. So I don't think the regular MACD and Signal has both of them. So, but if you can find it, then absolutely take it and use it. That's what it's there for. Absolutely. All right, well, let me go back to my demonstration, because then I want to make you a very special offer right now, since you've been here with me. MT4 Professional for a limited time is available for, for full featured on both MT4 and MT5. We give you access to what I mentioned, the Skype community. You get unlimited configuration storage, unlimited emails and push notifications, and up to 100 SMS notifications per month on your mobile devices. This is through your SMS provider, but we give you 100 free included with your setup. We also give all 14 of our pre-configured setups. Those are all of the strategies that I was just showing you earlier, using the strategies that we go through. These are already set up and ready to use at your desk. We don't charge you $22.95 for that value. We normally charge $194 a month on that to set you up and to get you going. But we've knocked that off by 50%, $97 per month to get you going. If you sign up today, then you can start with a 14-day free trial. You do that on MT4Professional.com. Start your 14-day free trial today, and you have 14 days to look at and evaluate the software, and you won't be charged a penny until the 15th day if you're still with us. That's MT4Professional.com/trial. You get all the features I mentioned earlier, full MT4 or MT5. Here you can see that when you get access to the members area, that you log right in, and the ability to download the most recent version is already here and available to you. We just came out with version 3.1. We've been running 3.0 for several months, 6 months or so. And we've got some updates already ready to push out, and we've made quite a few really good improvements. So we've got the brand new version out and ready to go for you right now. We walk you through all the processes. If you need help getting set up, then we even make one-on-one coaching available to you to help get you started. So $97 a month gets you all the software platform and the 14 different preset configurations ready to go for you to use. But feel free to set up and use whatever configurations that you have already set up and use at your own. If you have any questions or comments, then please contact us at support@mt4professional.com. That'll open up a ticket in our ticket system, and we will get back to you within 24 hours to make sure that we have all of your questions answered, or if you have any specific setup requirements. So let me get my MT4 back up again here, and I'll leave the link on the bottom so you'll still be able to see it if you want to have access to that 14-day free trial. But I'll be glad to go over any other configurations now if you have a question, or I can show anything that is specific, since we had the majority of our class here already existing users. So I'm sure you have a question, or you might need something a little bit more detail. I'll be glad to do that right now on setting up, on using configurations and getting them going. One very useful tool that we have access to on setting up your scanner is the data analysis right here. So if you open up the data window by clicking this icon, or if you go up under the file, let's see, no, maybe it's view. Yeah, it's under view. And then you click on the data window option, or if you hit Control D, then that gives you the ability to open and close this window. What the nice thing about this window is it shows you the actual outputs of the indicators that are on your chart that you click on. So on this particular indication, you can see that wherever your cursor is, the output of the indicator is displayed. This is the information that MT4Professional has access to make the decisions it needs. So if you have the current relative strength, in this case, it's a 14 period RSI. It's currently at 50.17. So if you're looking to see if that RSI is less than 30, then you can see that 50 is not less than 30. So that condition would come back as false. All right, so that's the idea behind it. Then remember the MACD and signal lines. You're looking at the MACD and signal. It's going to look at this value and compare it to this value. If this number is greater than this number, in this case, it's less negative, so that means it is greater than, then that would return true if you're looking for a bullish condition. Okay. So that's the idea behind that. You're looking for these setups. So if you have access to your data window, then you pull these values. This right here is the first line of the indicator, line 1. So if I were to pull up this indicator, edit it, go to my scanner, edit the strong signal rules. If I look at my MACD indicator, then you can see that I have my MACD baseline indicator. That's the white histogram. That's this line right here. Okay. If I were to edit that, oop, wrong one, this one. Notice that the output is the baseline indicator that I was specifically looking at. I have two outputs available, a signal line or a baseline. So this is the first one corresponding to the first output on my output line. So I'm looking at that as my setup. That's the one I want to choose. Okay. Now let me look at another example and I'll show you the other value that's there. If you're using third-party indicators where you don't have the standard setup and inputs that are there, let's open up a configuration that's using a custom indication or a custom setup. All right, this particular setup is looking at an indicator that uses 3 different setups to look for. So if I were looking at the trend, for example, this, you can see the trend has gone down and it changed color. This is like a moving average. It's trending with the price, and then it changes and then it starts trending down. And so when that turns green, that identifies a bullish trend. When it turns white, it's identifying consolidation or congestion. And when it turns green, red, it's identifying a downtrend. So when I get a red trend dot, then I know that I've got a setup that has a potential for a price entry. When it's confirmed with momentum and volume all agreeing, then that tells me this is a great place to look at a potential entry short. So the rules I'm looking for then is on the Euro US dollar. I want to see a 5-minute red trend, red heat map, and red volume. The 15-minute, I want to see red or dark green or dark red heat map, red volume. On my third time frame, I just want to see that the volume is good, i.e. red, because red volume identifies that the longer term trend is in play and volume always leads price. So that's the idea I would be looking for here. So if I go to my configuration, edit that, I look at my scanner, then you can see I have 3 different color rules. One's for the trend, one's for the volume, and one's for my heat map. All 3 separate ones have to agree, right? So on my scanner itself, you saw I had 1, 2, or 3 different colors available. Let me get these windows out of the way. See that? 1, 2, 3 different colors available for me under that time frame. The second one, I only had 2 of them turned on. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. My second time frame, I only have 2 of them turned on. I don't really care what the trend color is. On the third time frame, I only have the volume turned on. I don't care what the trend or the heat map is. I only look at the volume on the third time frame. That all those conditions have to be true for me to be able to see that. So if they're all true, then I'm going to get green across all 3 of these, like you see on the dollar Canadian. Green, green, green. That's a good, strong 5-minute setup. The 15-minute, I've got green on my short term and I've got green on the volume, but my 30-minute is neutral. So it looks like I'm still waiting for that longer term volume to start supporting the direction of my move. So I don't want to take a trade that's not being supported by longer term volume. Volume has to be agreeing in all 3 time frames. If I get volume to agree, like you can see here on the pound Canadian, here it's showing you that the volume is in agreement on all, or the Euro New Zealand, here volume is in agreement on all 3 time frames. So that's what I would be looking for potential for trade setups. The idea behind this particular setup then, sorry, I closed that and I should have not closed it. I want to show you what the data window was. So if I were to edit the trend setup, then I'm looking for that particular indicator. It's the Hawkeye trend and stops indicator. And notice the number at the very front. That's the line number, the output on your data screen. So if I were to go over here to my data window and look for the Hawkeye trend, the first item is the long signal. So if I'm looking for a green output, then I'm going to test to see that that long signal, which is output 1, is greater than 0. And in this case, it's greater than 0 whenever it's triggered. So if I were to move my mouse somewhere else on the screen, notice the long, the short, and the neutral over here. When I move my mouse on my screen, it changes. See that? There's a long trend. There's a neutral trend. And then there's a long trend and a neutral trend. So it's going back and forth between neutral and long. Okay. And then at the very end there, a trend changes to a short trend. So whenever that is greater than 0, that is when the trend change occurs. And I want to be notified of that. So whenever that condition is true, I want the cell to be green. If the second line right here, you can see this is the trend indicator line 2, then I want to be notified of that. So if I were to go in and edit that, you can see that I have the base parameter values set up, and I'm using the indicator line 1, which is the first output of the indicator on the data window. That's the first output. That's telling me the long trend that I want to see. I have access to the first 8 outputs of the indicator right here. So I can choose any of those. This one only has 3. So that's all I'm interested in is those first 3 outputs. The second one, that's the short line 2. And the third one down here on the bottom, this one is looking at, yep, line 3, because that's the neutral setup. I want it to be white if it's neutral. And so 1, 2, 3, neutral. So all it's doing is just checking for those setups and letting me know when each of those conditions are met. And I know that I have a good signal. So that's the value of the data window. That's what it does for you. That's how you can integrate it with your own custom or any third-party indicator to let you know when these conditions are met. So unless you have other questions, we've run out of time. But just remember that you can always start your 14-day free trial at any time by clicking the link mt4professional.com/trial or clicking the link that Claudio provided for you in the chat window. And you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com. Click on or copy the support email that Claudio provided as well so that we can speak with you, answer any of your questions, or get back with you at any point in time. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I've answered all the questions. So if there is not any more, then I look forward to seeing you in the Skype chat room or conversing with you through email through that. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Have a great day. We'll see you here in about 2 weeks. Bye for now.